Welcome to the Savvy Woman Show. I'm Catherine Magaña, a certified financial planner with Savvy Woman Wealth Management, where we educate, energize, and help women become knowledgeable investors. The Savvy Woman Show, we're here to help you learn about investing, financial planning, financial related topics, and life in general. Today we have a special guest speaker with us. We have Marcy Browe, who will be sharing with us her story and also some words of encouragement for you. Throughout the different Savvy Woman shows, we're going to have authors, speakers, we're going to have special guests and female entrepreneurs. So we're really excited about this new show, and thank you for joining us. So welcome, Marcy.
Thank you, Catherine, so much for having me here in your beautiful space.
Thank you. So today I know you're an advocate for women and confidence, and we just really look forward to hearing about your story, and perhaps you can take a few minutes and share with us how you got into photography.
Sure. So I'm a portrait photographer, and it's been something I have been doing since high school. I've always loved photographing people, and my grandfather was also a portrait photographer. He had a photo studio back in the 40s, and he did it through his entire career. So photography was no stranger in my family, and I did it as a hobby. I did it as like a passion, and I had a whole corporate career that I did, and then I ditched the corporate life and started my photography business full-time about 4 years ago.
Okay. So I know today you're going to tell us about confidence.
Yes.
It's gorgeous, so
Yes.
we look forward to hearing about that. Perhaps you want to share a little bit about that with us.
Sure. So I love this topic of confidence is gorgeous because I think that people's definition of beauty and what's hot or gorgeous is very personal, but I think there's an undercurrent that really makes all women beautiful, and it's their confidence. It's their presence and the way they walk into a room and the way they hold space. And I just find that a lot of women don't have that. We're really hard on ourselves. I'm sure as a woman you can relate, and I just it's my personal mission to really help people find confidence and really have that not only when they're in front of the camera but just in life in general.
So do you have some tips then that you could share with us that perhaps can help us with that?
Sure. So there's some basic tips, and there's also some tips that are a little more esoteric, if you will. So basically, there are a couple things I just wanted to share of how to look better on camera. And this is whether you're doing a selfie, if you're handing your camera or your phone to someone else to take a picture, or if you're working with a professional. And so the first tip is just remember that whatever is closer to the camera appears bigger. And so I'm saying that because if you think about it, if you're feeling like you want to de-emphasize something in your body or your face, hold it a little further away from the camera. And the reason is because the cameras that we have on our phones and the cameras, most generic cameras are wide-angle lenses. So they are going to exaggerate the features that are closest to the camera. So if perhaps you're feeling like you know this region, maybe you want to de-emphasize some hips or something, just kind of shift them away from the camera and move your shoulders and head closer.
I like that tip.
Yeah, it's really and it's simple, and you can practice it in front of the mirror, and you know that's my number one tip.
Okay. So any other ideas on how somebody can be a little more confident? And
Yes. Definitely. So what you wear is important too. I think a lot of women, if they're feeling body conscious, a lot of times they have a tendency to wear something that's baggy, or they want to hide in their clothing. But it's kind of counterintuitive, because the more fitted and the more structured that you're wearing your clothing, it's going to be way more flattering. And in addition to that, just from a presence standpoint, a lot of times when you're looking in the camera, you're like kind of doing a smile that you think looks good, or you're maybe trying to be something that you're not. So I always say, look at the camera like you're looking at a good friend, and just smile naturally, because you're actually looking at a piece of technology. So that personal thing is gone because you're looking at a lens, but just pretend that you're looking at someone that you love and you trust, and you will have a more natural smile and presence.
Nice. So tell us, is there anything that some of our viewers could do to learn more about this?
Absolutely, yeah. So this topic is near and dear to my heart, and I will be teaching a workshop on this, and we'll go into all kinds of details, a lot more than we're sharing today. And the workshop is taking place in the spring of 2018, so you can go on my website, and I'll be posting about it on there.
Wonderful. Okay, so maybe just share with us a little bit about some of the clients you work with, and maybe some things that you've done in the past. That'd be helpful.
Sure. So I love working with women, and I think that's kind of why we bonded, because we have a lot of the same philosophies about empowering women to just be the best versions of themselves. So a lot of the clients that I work with, they maybe have a service-oriented business, so maybe they are a coach, like a health coach or a business coach, or they are a real estate agent. So these are women whose product is themselves.
Okay.
So they don't have a widget or something that they're selling. They're actually selling themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So that's my favorite kind of client. So for instance, recently I did a photo shoot with a woman who sells insurance. And insurance is not the sexiest subject. It can be perceived as maybe a necessity that's not very exciting. So we did a photo shoot with this woman, and she really wanted to align herself with a specific neighborhood in downtown San Diego.
Okay.
So we went and we did a photo shoot in her neighborhood, and she just wanted to be presented more kind of hip and accessible. So that was really, really fun, because that you kind of got her to break out of the mold of like the standard, business headshot.
Yeah. Well, I think I've looked at some of your work, and I've seen there was a client of yours that had some shoes that popped some color, and it's like makes it really fun.
Absolutely, and that's what's super fun about working with women, because I can be like, okay, what are you gonna wear? Yeah. And I also work with clothing stylists too, so if the person maybe is gonna be doing a lot of media and needs help figuring out what looks good on her, then I always connect that person with my clothing stylist, and that becomes super fun too, because what you're wearing really says a lot about you and your business, and if you are feeling good in what you're wearing, it's going to come across. Yeah. Don't you think?
So I think what I find too, like you mentioned websites and different things, but you may want to have multiple shots for depending on what it is that you're trying to do. And
yes, well, we live in such a visual world, and people aren't doing just one marketing outreach. A lot of people that are looking to brand themselves are doing maybe an email newsletter, maybe they're doing a mailing piece, they might have social media that they constantly have to post.
Seems like there's so many different avenues. It's not just one like one website picture anymore. You want to have different ones to pull from. And
it doesn't have to be your face all the time. So a lot of times if I'm doing a personal branding shoot, I'll have people either write in a journal or be typing on their laptop or doing something that's not just sitting looking at the camera and getting photos, the detail shots of them working, which is super fun too, because then you can get your little details in the picture.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of work-life balance? How do you do that right now with yourself?
Yes. Well, it's funny because it's I would work 23 and a half hours a day if I could, because I really love what I'm doing and I'm passionate, but I am married and I love spending time with my husband and my friends, and so my husband is a high school teacher, and so we love to travel when he's not teaching, which is very new for me, because before I used to have a corporate job and I got my 3 weeks vacation if I was lucky. So having his schedule, at the beginning of the year, you know exactly how many days you're getting off and when, and it's kind of forced me to block out my schedule and take time off, and I never did that before. Vacations were always an afterthought, and time off was never something I prioritized. But he's been a huge inspiration for me, because he has the summers off, they have time at Christmas, and they have a lot of time off, as you know, because you have kids that are
so I'm that recently started to do that myself.
Yeah, you have to manage their time. I know.
It forces you to take that time off, because I'm like you, I'd be working several hours.
Absolutely, yes. So I think work-life balance, that's tricky, because if it wasn't for somebody else kind of nudging me to take time off, I wouldn't.
Nice. So why don't we tell us a little bit about being a female entrepreneur and maybe some tips or something you want to share with our viewers?
Yeah, sure. So I think what you are doing and what you are bringing to the world is really important, because you are all about empowering women to be smart with their money and to be, again, making their finances not an afterthought. And for me, that's been something that's been really empowering, is taking control of my finances and really having a plan in place, and also just learning how to manage my money, because as an entrepreneur, you might have 1 month where you're really flush with cash and another month where you're not.
So it's planning and knowing, okay, this is what's coming, and it's just different being a business owner than working in the corporate world.
Yes, that is so true, and that was really something I had to learn how to do, and planning is definitely key.
So it's interesting, you talked about confidence is gorgeous, and I look at confidence with investing.
Yes.
And gosh, they are hand in hand, because women that we come across, we want them to be confident in their financial decisions.
Yes.
And I think that the more knowledgeable they are, that they make those decisions and they feel comfortable, but it comes with taking the time. And we too have different education events. In addition to the Savvy Woman Show, we also have the Savvy Minute, where we provide little weekly tips. We also do webinars twice a month, so we're really trying to help women learn about money and investing, and it looks like you're on that path as well. So I do think being confident in your presence and pictures and money, it reflects in all areas of your life.
It really does. It's kind of like cleaning up your vibration. And if you're really vibrating on a high positive note, that carries through every aspect of your life.
Great. So how can our viewers reach you if they want to contact you, and maybe you can share that?
Absolutely. Well, I'll be happy to include some information in the show notes that goes with this video, but you can reach me on the internet or social media, and my name is Marcy Browe, and I am the only Marcy Browe in the world, so it shouldn't be hard to find me. So I would love to I'd love to hear from people. I'd love to see what other people are doing, so definitely reach out.
Well, thank you for being part of the show. We really enjoyed having you on the Savvy Woman Show. We do offer a free financial assessment for those of you that are interested in having us help you become savvy about your finances. We offer an opportunity to sit down and have a cup of coffee and just get to know each other. It's a real personal relationship, so yes. So please reach out to me if you'd like to set that up. And one of the things with Savvy Woman Wealth Management, we want to inspire women to learn and be educated about their money. So please check us out at savvyapp.com. And I want to end the show with an inspirational quote. And today's quote is from Sheila Bethel. And it's, one of the most courageous things you can do is identify yourself, know who you are, what you believe in, and where you want to go. So it ties right in with being courageous and being confident.
Yes. So. Well done.
So we're done with the Savvy Woman Show. Our mission is to help women learn. And remember, knowledge is power. For successful investing, never stop learning, and savvy up.